So when we struggle to factorise a quadratic because it can't be factorised, then there is an alternative. The alternative is the quadratic formula, which is given there. Quadratic formula is for any quadratic of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to nothing. As with any quadratic, to solve it, it's got to be equal to nothing. Then we can solve it by using the formula that x is equal to a fraction with numerator minus b plus or minus, because there's two answers, the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over denominator 2 lots of a. So putting that into practice, the best way to tackle this, if we look at the first example, first of all, to list what your a is, what your b is, and what your c is. A in this case is a 5, b is a 13, and c is a negative 6. So writing down the formula, x can be the negative of b, so minus 13, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over twice a. Now, personally, I would work out that square root first. However, I always tend to do 2a straight away, 2 times 5 being 10. So on the calculator, we've got to work out 13 squared, 13 squared button, take 4 times 5 times minus 6 and press equals. And then we write that down under the square root sign, which is 289. So now what we do is we now type that top line in and press equals. So we've got negative 13 plus the square root of 289 equals, divided by 10 equals, and that comes out as 2/5 or 0.4. Repeat the same maths, but with the minus sign now. So minus 13, take the square root of 289 equals, and then divide by 10, and that gives you minus 3. So they're the two answers to that question. Next block. So in this first one, we've got x equals 1. We've got, a equals 1, b equals 6, and c equals 7. So we have that x is equal to the negative of b, so minus 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 6 squared, minus 4 times a times c. And that's all over twice a, so 2. As with the previous, work out the square root first. So we've got 6 squared, take 4 times 1 times 7 equals 8. And then on the bottom, 2. Now if I type that in with the plus first, we've got minus 6 plus the square root of 8 equals, divided by 2 equals, and the calculator says minus 1.59 to 2 decimal places. Repeat myself, but with the minus sign. So we got minus 6, take the square root of 8 equals, divided by 2, and that gives us minus 4.41 to 2 decimal places. Next one, much the same. A this time though is a 3, b is a negative 24, and c is a 41. So x is equal to minus b, so minus minus makes that positive 24, plus or minus the square root of b squared. Now personally, even though that's a minus, I write it as 24 squared. Why? Because minus 24 squared is the same as 24 squared. It's a positive answer. Take 4 times a times c and that's all divided by twice a, so 6. So again, if we work out the square root bit first, here we've got 24 squared, take 4 times 3 times 41 equals 84 over 6. So repeating myself, we've got 24 plus the square root of 84 equals, divided by 6 equals 5.53 to 2 decimal places. Do it again, 24, but take the square root of 84 equals, divided by 6 equals, and that is 2.47 to 2 decimal places. One more. A equals 3, B equals 6, and C equals -7. So x equals the negative of b plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 6 squared, take 4 times a times c, and that's all over twice a, so 6, minus 6 plus or minus. Work out the square root, so all the rest is the same. So we've got 6 squared, take 4 times 3 times -7 equals 120. So now we've got minus 6 plus the square root of 120 is, divide that by 6 equals, and we get 0.83 to 1 decimal place. Repeat it, but with the minus, so minus 6, take the square root of 120 is, divided by 6 equals minus 2.83 to 2 decimal places. And that is how you solve quadratic using the formula.